Each year, nearly 88,000 people die from alcohol-related causes in the United States, according to the National Institutes of Health. Now, a new form of alcohol has been invented, and some experts and politicians are concerned it could add to the toll. It's powdered alcohol, or Palcohol, and it comes in a packet, making one cocktail when mixed with liquid. The product has received approval from the Food and Drug Administration, and its manufacturers say it'll come in flavors like Cosmopolitan and Margarita, if it manages to hit the shelves.
We're working through some things right now. There's some legislative concerns on the federal level that have to be addressed, and we're waiting to see how those play out. That is kind of our holdup right now, but as soon as those are addressed, we'll ramp up and get going.
That's Mark Phillips, the creator of Palcohol. He's not worried about getting the product on the market, even though several states have already banned it.
Obviously, we're in the states where they've banned it. We won't be distributing it there. We'll be distributing in all the states where it's legal to sell. And I think many of the states that have banned it out of ignorance and fear will realize the benefit of the product and reverse their course because their citizens of the state will want access to the product.
But some experts are concerned that some groups may want the product too much. David Jernigan, associate professor at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, says teens who get their hands on Palcohol are likely to abuse it. His team did a study of teenagers and their drinking habits, even to the point of finding out the brands of alcohol that kids abuse most.
Almost 900 different brands of alcohol, whether they've used them in the last 30 days, how much they've used, and what consequences from alcohol they have experienced. And we found that these newer, edgier products, things like flavored alcoholic beverages, things like what we call the supersized alcohol pops, young people who drank the supersized versions of these were 4 times more likely to report binge drinking, 6 times more likely to report an alcohol-related injury than kids who didn't drink flavored alcoholic beverages. Jell-O shots, another example. Kids who used them were 1.5 times more likely to report binge drinking, 1.7 times more likely to report having been in a physical fight after drinking than other teen drinkers. The point is, there is a small group of kids who will experiment with products like this, and the general consensus that I think we're seeing across the country is that this format of the product is simply too easy for kids to abuse.
Jernigan says alcohol abuse by under 21s is no small thing. It's why college campuses have taken major steps against binge drinking the last decade or so, and why the abuse potential of any new product needs to be examined.
Alcohol is the leading drug among young people in the U.S. It's responsible for 4,300 deaths a year in the U.S. among people under 21. There are reasons that we treat this product differently than Kool-Aid, and those reasons have everything to do with protecting young people and ensuring that they can grow up to have healthy and long lives.
Jernigan isn't alone in his concerns. State Senator Rick Jones of Michigan has already moved to ban the sale of Palcohol in his home state. Among his concerns, it could be sprinkled on food, more easily smuggled into places where alcohol is banned, or even be snorted.
I think it's a product that absolutely is not needed. It's been suggested that perhaps hikers might want to carry it on a hike and then have drinks when they got to the end of their hike. I think that's pretty ridiculous. There is no good reason to have this product. Therefore, I think because of the dangers, it should be banned from sale. It'll be much easier for people to overdose. They won't realize how much they're putting on their pizza or mixing up into whatever they're consuming.
However, not all politicians agree with Jones about Palcohol. State Senator Brian Kelsey from Tennessee says, regardless of whether it's a liquid or a powder, alcohol is alcohol.
I don't see any dangers from powdered alcohol that are any worse than the dangers from liquid alcohol. I think the liquor lobby has worked very strong to defeat the bill, and therefore legislators only heard one side of the story.
Phillips agrees. He says Palcohol faces a political battle because of the threat it poses to profits of the alcoholic products already on the market.
If they really were concerned about a product being misused and abused, why wouldn't they address the obvious public health danger of liquid alcohol? But they don't, because the liquor companies are really the driving force to spreading the misinformation about Palcohol to protect their market share and their profits.
As for snorting Palcohol, Phillips says it can be done, but it's not a realistic threat.
They won't get drunk from snorting powdered alcohol, which is generally the idea of doing something like that. It's to get high or drunk. And it's impossible to get high or drunk using powdered alcohol because it's very painful to snort. It would take you over an hour to snort the equivalent of one shot of vodka, for instance.
However, critics like Jernigan argue that teens will try to snort it despite the difficulty and the expense. Palcohol will be about 4 times more expensive per drink than liquid alcohol. But despite the opposition and the price tag, Phillips still sees a strong market for it. He's working hard to distribute Palcohol to states that haven't already banned it. You can find out more about all our guests on our website, radiohealthjournal.net, where you can also find archives of our programs. You can find them on iTunes and Stitcher as well. Our writer-producer this week is Amira Zaveri. Our production directors are Sean Waldron and Nick Hofstra. I'm Nancy Benson.
When the leading antihistamine and Nasacort go nose-to-nose, Nasacort wins, stopping more of the chemical responses that can cause your nasal allergy symptoms. And when you stop more causes, you get 24-hour relief from sneezing, an itchy runny nose, even congestion. It's prescription-strength medicine available over the counter. Nasacort Allergy 24-hour. Stops more of what makes you miserable. Use as directed.
Are you living with pain? So was Lisa, a brave Marine wounded in Iraq.
After surviving an explosion, I was on horrible painkillers. I tried 1-hour pain relief, and now I'm pain-free all day without dangerous side effects. And it works in less than 1 hour.
Try it free for 1 week and pay only the shipping with no automatic shipments. Call 800-500-1061 right now or visit onehourpainrelief.com. That's 800-500-1061. 800-500-1061.